As Olivia drove her new luxury car home, a police patrol car stopped during the afternoon patrol. Officer Mark noticed her in the car and immediately assumed it was stolen. "Look at her, she's a nobody," he muttered to the new officer, Dan. Suspecting theft due to recent property crimes, he said, "I'm sure she can't afford this car. She must have stolen it, or her parents are involved in illegal activities." Dan, less prejudiced, replied, "You can't be sure of that. Maybe her parents are rich." Mark scoffed, "Are you serious? An immigrant can't afford a car like this. She either stole it, or her parents are into something illegal. I'll prove it." Determined, Mark sped up and blocked Olivia's car. Olivia, surprised by the situation, wondered why she was being stopped. "What are you doing in this car, girl?" Mark questioned with suspicion. "It's a gift from my parents for my 18th birthday," Olivia replied, smiling. "I doubt your parents have the money for a car like this. It's either stolen, or they're involved in something shady," Mark said, looking at her with disdain. "No way. My parents aren't involved in anything illegal. My father is a police captain, and my mother is a successful real estate broker. They bought this as a birthday present for me," Olivia protested. "Get out of the car now," Mark ordered. "Look, I don't like being treated like a criminal. I haven't done anything wrong, and I won't let you violate my rights." "I'm not getting out of the car," Olivia asserted, showing the documents to prove ownership. "My parents bought this car for my 18th birthday. It's not stolen." Meanwhile, Officer Dan, sensing the injustice, called Mark aside. "Hey, Mark, can I talk to you for a second?" he asked. "Sure," Mark replied. "I think she's telling the truth. Her parents might be rich, and she has the original documents. Let's not escalate this unnecessarily," Dan suggested. However, Mark remained resolute. "Dan, there's a lot you need to learn about how things work. Appearances can be deceiving, and we can't just let someone go based on their claim of innocence. We need a full investigation," he insisted. "But she hasn't committed any crime. These are the original documents for the car," Dan tried to convince Mark. "Better stay quiet and watch." "If you have nothing else to say," Mark retorted harshly as he returned to Olivia's car, determined to find evidence to support his suspicion. "Hey girl, you're wasting my time. I said get out of the car." "I need to search it," Mark insisted, dragging Olivia out of the car. Olivia felt a mixture of frustration and confusion. While she cried with her head down, Mark continued to search the car. After a few minutes, Mark pulled out a white substance from a small bag. "Look here, girl. You said you didn't steal the car, and that your parents weren't involved in illegal business. What is this doing in your car?" Mark questioned, holding the white substance up for Olivia to see. "Oh no, I swear it's not mine. I don't use drugs, and my parents are innocent. I don't understand how this got in my car. Someone's framing me." Olivia pleaded with tears streaming down her face. "You're under arrest for possession of illegal drugs," Mark declared, handcuffing Olivia and taking her to the station. "I told you she's a criminal. This is proof," Mark said to Dan, who was shocked by what had just happened. Despite Olivia's continuous pleas of innocence, Mark drove her to the station. Upon arrival, Olivia couldn't contain her anguish and started yelling for her father. "Dad, help me," she screamed. "Shut up. No yelling here," Mark warned, but Olivia persisted. Her screams caught everyone's attention at the station. Captain John rushed out of his office when he heard a voice that sounded like his daughter's. "Olivia, what are you doing here? What crime have you committed? Why are you in handcuffs?" Captain John was shocked to see his precious daughter in that state. "Dad, I didn't do anything. I think I'm being framed. This officer arrested me for a crime I don't even know," Olivia explained to her father. "Is this true, Officer Mark?" Captain John questioned. "Yes, sir. I didn't know she was your daughter, but I found this illegal drug in her car. I believe she's involved in drug dealing, which is against the law," Mark stated. "You must be mistaken. My daughter is responsible and would never do such a thing. There's a misunderstanding here," Captain John defended his daughter. Mark, however, confronted Captain John with bold accusations. "If that's the case, what else do you do besides being a captain? Run an illegal drug business too? If that was found in her car, how much will be found in your house?" Irritated but calm, Captain John responded. How dare you say that about your captain? I never liked you. There's something suspicious about you from day one. I will investigate this matter. If that's all, you may leave, John ordered firmly. Fine, I'll go. But know that your actions won't go unpunished, Mark retorted as he stormed out angrily. Determined to uncover the truth about the false accusations against his daughter, Captain John returned to his office, pondering how to ensure justice for Olivia. Hey, Olivia, I brought something for you to eat. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm working to get you out of here, Captain John assured his daughter. Dad, I'm telling the truth. I don't know anything about that drug, Olivia insisted, still with tears streaming down her face. I believe you, Olivia. I know you wouldn't do this. I'm sure someone is behind all this, and I'll find them, Captain John affirmed with determination. Olivia, do you know if anyone was there when all this happened? John inquired while Olivia continued to cry. Yes, Dad. I think an officer was there. He saw everything that happened, but I don't know his name. I can describe him to you, she said, trying to recall the officer. Based on her description, Captain John showed her 3 photos of officers he thought might match her description. When he showed the first photo, she exclaimed, Yes, it's him. He was there when all this happened. I believe he can tell the truth that I'm innocent. That's Officer Dan. He's a new officer. I'll talk to him to find out what he knows. Be strong for me and your mother, dear. We love you, and you'll be out of here soon, Captain John assured Olivia before leaving, determined to discover the truth. Returning to his office, John was surprised to find Officer Dan waiting. I was about to call you. I have some questions, Captain John said, sitting down. Curious, he asked, So, what brings you here? Sir, I may be a new officer, but I know right from wrong. Speaking the truth is what I was taught, Dan explained. Perhaps you'd like to see this, he said, pulling out his phone and showing a video to Captain John. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is wrong, and the officer must be held accountable for this, exclaimed John. I didn't know she was your daughter. I suggested letting her go, but Officer Mark insisted on finding something to incriminate her. When he couldn't, he looked around nervously. That's when I decided to record the video. I felt he might be doing something wrong. When he thought no one was looking, he pulled out a small bag of drugs from his pocket, the same evidence he found in Olivia's car. He planted it in her car and then insisted she was involved with drugs. I was shocked when he showed me. Knowing he framed Olivia, I'm sure she's innocent, Dan explained. Captain John was proud of Dan's actions. You don't know what you've done for me. I was about to call you because my daughter remembered you were with Mark during all this. I hoped you could prove her innocence. With this video evidence, it's clear you're a good person. I'm very proud of you. I'll need a copy of the video, and please keep this confidential between us. An investigation will be conducted soon. Absolutely, sir. I'll ensure it remains confidential, Dan affirmed, shaking John's hand before leaving the office. Captain John quickly released his daughter and contacted the Internal Affairs Division to assist in the investigation of Mark. How could you let her go? Mark stormed into Captain John's office without knocking, raising his voice. Is it because she's your daughter, knowing full well she committed a crime? He shouted. We will determine who committed a crime when a proper investigation is conducted. I want you out of my office immediately, John ordered firmly. Fine, I'll leave, but know that your actions won't go unpunished, Mark retorted as he stormed out angrily. As Captain John and the Internal Affairs Division delved deeper into the investigation of Mark, he sought a way to incriminate his captain. A week later, Internal Affairs uncovered some shocking information about Mark. It turned out he wasn't just framing people, particularly targeting Black individuals. He was also deeply involved in drug-related activities. As a police officer, he was secretly working with illegal groups involved in drug trafficking. Mark even helped transport drugs from one state to another, using his position as an officer to avoid suspicion. This revelation left Captain John deeply shocked. It's not just about framing people. He played a significant role in illegal drug-related activities, raising serious concerns about his integrity as a law enforcement officer, John explained. The following day at the police station, Captain John addressed everyone with a brief speech, praising the officers who consistently upheld the truth regardless of circumstances. I want to show you something. Watch closely, Captain John said, using a projector to play the recorded video. The footage captured by Officer Dan revealed Mark planting illegal drugs in Olivia's car. The entire room of officers was stunned by Mark's actions. "Why did you do this, Mark?" asked one of the officers. Mark lowered his head in shame but didn't respond. That's not all. He was also secretly collaborating with illegal groups involved in drug trafficking. His position as an officer made it difficult for him to be caught. This has been happening for years, and I'm relieved the truth has finally come to light. There's more evidence in this file, and we've arrested a member of the group who confirmed Mark was in charge of transportation, Captain John explained, providing more details about the extent of Mark's misconduct. In a solemn moment at the station, the police chief, disappointed, addressed the gathered officers to announce the outcome of the investigation into Mark's actions. As many of you know, we've conducted a thorough investigation into Mark's actions. The findings have been carefully reviewed by both Internal Affairs and the Disciplinary Review Board. Today, I must share the outcome of this process with you. Officer Mark, based on the evidence and the severity of your actions, you were found guilty. The charges against you include the wrongful arrest of innocent individuals and involvement in illegal activities while using your police uniform as a cover. These actions not only violated the trust placed in you as a law enforcement officer, but also significantly tarnished the image of our police force. Therefore, it is with regret and a commitment to uphold the integrity of our department that I announce your dismissal from the police force, effective immediately. We cannot tolerate such breaches of trust and the law within our ranks. This decision is not taken lightly, but is necessary to maintain public trust in our ability to serve and protect. The actions of one individual should not overshadow the dedication and professionalism of the vast majority of our officers. We will continue to work to build trust with the community and uphold the values that define our profession. Thank you. This detailed announcement from the police chief aimed to clarify the specific charges and the reasoning behind Mark's dismissal, emphasizing the commitment to maintaining the department's integrity and public trust. After Mark's dismissal, the station remained silent for a while, leaving the officers deeply surprised. They exchanged glances, trying to grasp the gravity of the situation. Some officers found it hard to accept that a colleague could go against the values they upheld as law enforcement professionals. Captain John addressed everyone again. This is a difficult moment for all of us. Mark's actions have tarnished our reputation and shaken the trust our community has in us. But it is also an opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to doing what is right. Officer Dan, who had the courage to speak the truth, received praise from both the department and the community as the news spread. Mark faced legal consequences for his actions, ensuring he was held accountable. This situation became an example for everyone in the police force, who vowed to be more transparent, do the right thing, and work better with the community. Despite the case closing, the aftermath lingered for weeks. The community's trust had been shaken, and Captain John knew rebuilding it wouldn't be easy. To address this, he organized a town hall meeting, inviting citizens to discuss their concerns directly with the police force. It was a rare move, but John believed in transparency and accountability. At the town hall, emotions ran high. Many residents voiced their fears and frustrations. A local activist, Rachel, spoke passionately about the need for systemic change within the police force. This isn't just about one bad officer. It's about a culture that allows such behavior to thrive. We need more than apologies. We need action, she declared, her words resonating with the crowd. Captain John listened attentively. You're right, Rachel. We need to do better. We're implementing new training programs focused on racial bias and community engagement. And we'll be establishing a civilian oversight committee to ensure we stay accountable, he announced, garnering mixed reactions from the audience. Meanwhile, Olivia tried to return to her normal life, but the ordeal had left scars. Her friends rallied around her, but the whispers and stares from others were hard to ignore. She started attending therapy to deal with the trauma, finding solace in writing about her experience. Officer Dan, hailed as a hero, received a commendation for his bravery. However, he remained humble. I just did what was right, he said in interviews. Yet, he couldn't shake off the feeling that there was still much work to be done. One day, while Dan was on patrol, he came across a group of teenagers playing basketball. He recognized them as some of the kids who had been most vocal at the town hall meeting. Deciding to take a break, he joined their game, earning curious glances at first. But soon, they warmed up to him, and by the end of the game, he had earned their respect. The police department's Internal Affairs Division continued its investigation, uncovering more about Mark's illicit activities. It was revealed that he had connections with a notorious drug cartel, which had infiltrated several cities. This revelation led to a larger crackdown, resulting in multiple arrests and a significant blow to the cartel's operations. As the weeks turned into months, the police force gradually regained the community's trust. Captain John and his team worked tirelessly to implement reforms. They held regular meetings with community leaders, established outreach programs, and increased their presence at local events, not as enforcers but as neighbors and friends. Olivia, inspired by her father's determination and the community's support, decided to pursue a career in law. She wanted to be an advocate for justice, ensuring that no one else would have to endure what she went through. She started volunteering at a local legal aid clinic, where she met other like-minded individuals committed to making a difference. The story of Olivia, Mark, and Dan became a catalyst for change, a reminder of the importance of integrity, courage, and community. It wasn't just about one girl's fight for justice. It was about a community coming together to build a better future. And though the road ahead was long and fraught with challenges, they faced it with hope and determination, united in their quest for a more just and equitable society.